Hindsight's a fascinating thing. We can't help but look differently at those pictures of him walking to church at Sandringham on Sunday and wondering just how he's feeling, because at that time, presumably, he was aware of the diagnosis.
Yes, and I think that was a carefully choreographed appearance. You know, they wanted us to feel reassured when this news came out, as it did. It was quite a shock, I have to say, last night. I don't think anyone could quite believe what we were hearing. And even today, those words, "the king has cancer," you know, they do strike terror in everyone's hearts, even though there has been such progress in cancer treatment. And even though we're hearing such positive vibes from the king himself, and from the palace. But I think back to the Queen Camilla carrying out her engagements last week in the full knowledge that this news had been given to her beloved husband, even going to a cancer opening, a cancer ward opening, and you know what must have been going through her head at the time. So this is a really difficult moment for an elderly couple, very much in love and facing the diagnosis that 1,000 people a day face with the same terror, I suppose, but trying to stay positive about it.
Yeah. The irony is, of course, he's waited so long to be appointed king, and now this.
Yep, I think you're absolutely right, Eamon. You know, I think alongside the apprehension about what's to come, I think he'll be just thoroughly annoyed with life, annoyed that this has happened to him. He has waited so long. He's got lots and lots of plans, many engagements in the diary, foreign trips abroad, and all of that now has had to be put on hold. It's absolutely not what he wanted. And of all the predictions that so many made about this change of reign, this sort of double whammy of a health scare, and with Catherine alongside having had serious abdominal surgery, no one could have predicted this. But perhaps, just perhaps, it is a blessing in disguise. You know, perhaps we should look on from the point of view that he went in for a benign prostate condition and a cancer has been discovered, and we hope, we don't know, that it's been discovered early. Certainly, the intervention has been very, very prompt.
Yes, and Jennie Bond, there are hopes, I'm sure, that this could lead to a bit of a reconciliation between father and son in terms of Harry, who we hear is hot-footing it over from LA to be at his father's side at this moment of crisis.
Yes, that could be the other blessing in disguise. He's on a plane right now, as we understand, so he really has shifted himself straight out of California to come over and see his father. That makes you think, oh my goodness me, is this more serious than we're being told? But I think it's just a son's reaction to some pretty shocking news. And yes, could this lead to a reconciliation, not only with his dad? I think that's pretty much on the cards now, but possibly with William, because really William does need his brother right now. That's going to be a trickier relationship to patch up, but we can but hope. It didn't happen when the Queen died. We thought it probably would. I thought surely when your grannies died, you know, and the family's all together, things will go better, but it didn't. They went worse, if anything. But this time, I think the hope must be a little higher.
And Jennie, would it be your understanding that the king would have picked up the phone and phoned both his sons to deliver this news personally?
Yeah, that's certainly the impression we've been given, that he phoned all the members of the family, I think, his brothers, his sister, and probably first of all his son, certainly William. And what terrible news for William as well. You have to feel for William. Suddenly, not only has Charles been sort of brought up short, smack bang, facing mortality, as we all face mortality, but William must be looking his destiny in the eye rather more clearly right now. And right now is not the time that he wants to even think about taking on the duties of monarch, which of course isn't likely to happen because we're told everything's positive with the king. But nevertheless, you know, William's time at the moment is to be a family man, to look after his wife as she recovers, and to be a full-on dad as much as he can. But he is going back to work, as we've heard, and be taking on more duties than he otherwise would have done at this stage in Catherine's recuperation.
Yeah, that's a perfect way of phrasing it, staring his destiny in the eye. We were speculating earlier about whether He might quite legitimately be feeling incredibly isolated right now, having lost his grandmother, one of the few people who understands the burden he faces, his father now being ill, his beloved wife being ill, being estranged from his brother, who he perceived as having attacked his beloved wife, and a wayward uncle. I mean, it's lonely for Prince William, surely.
He must feel alone. And, you know, he is the youngest of all the working royals. I say all, there aren't very many working royals. And so a greater burden is falling on his shoulders. Yeah, it's a lonely place anyway, being a senior member of the royal family. It's very lonely being monarch and being heir too. There aren't many people you can talk to, confide in, befriend. And that's why I say perhaps this is a time when he might feel he needs his brother. I just don't know if that can be patched up, but you would hope so, wouldn't you? You would think they would realise, but for goodness sake, life is too short. Let's just put it all behind us.